Hey, honey,
Yes, Barry?
let's get out of here.
Where are we going?
Where do we always go?
Fascina el viento, este ritmo de palmas, sin naturaleza, hasta encontrar la playa. Por eso grito al mundo, yo soy de Puerto Vallarta. Samba de Puerto Vallarta, noche de arrullo en el mar. Samba de Puerto Vallarta.
Hello, fellow travelers, and welcome to this episode of the Puerto Vallarta Travel Show. I'm your host, Barry Kessler, and I'm just so happy to be introducing you to my favorite vacation destination. Maybe it's even yours, and that's Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. That music you're listening to is performed by Alberto Perez, and Alberto is the owner of the Lapa Lapa group of restaurants here. Those are the Lapa Lapa, Puerto Vallarta's oldest restaurant on the famous Los Muertos Beach, and the El Dorado Restaurant and Beach Club right next door. So you can enjoy that fantastic view of the Los Muertos Pier, all lit up at night in beautiful colors, or during the day in its grand splendor. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, seated with your toes in the sand right at the water's edge. It's so romantic. It's so Puerto Vallarta, my friends. This week we are going to the Versalles neighborhood of Puerto Vallarta, and you're going to meet Memo Wulff. Memo is a chef. He's the owner and creator of two very wonderful restaurants, one named Barrio Bistro, his other restaurant, and Raicilleria next door is La Lulu. It's a Raicilla bar. But before we get to Chef Memo, let's see what's happening this week in Puerto Vallarta, the 6th of December, 2019. We are in the middle of procession fever here in Puerto Vallarta. Today is day 6, and each day groups gather at their prescribed times. There's families and hotels and local service organizations and neighborhoods. They get together, they have like these banners, and they go down the street. There's about 360 different groups spread over the 12-day celebration. And actually, I've been posting and passing along the lists every day over on the Puerto Vallarta Travel Show Facebook page. Rabina Oliver, our friend over at the Mermaid Queen over there, she's been posting every day the different schedules, and I've been sharing them on our Facebook page. So go there, check out the schedules if you're in town, and if you're interested at all, it's basically it's a scorecard, right? You don't know the players without your scorecard. Now I should take a few minutes to explain what all these processions are about, right? It is the celebration of what happened almost 500 years ago when peasant Juan Diego had the Virgin Mary appear before him. She asked the peasant to go to the bishop of the parish in Mexico City, tell him that that you saw me, Juan Diego, and then she asked him to ask the bishop to build a church in her honor. And after a couple of tries, she finally got Juan Diego to wrap up a bunch of roses in his shawl and present them to the priest in order to prove that she was actually the Virgin Mary. And when Juan Diego did appear before the priest to deliver those roses, when they spilled out of his shawl, his tunic, not only did they persuade the bishop because, these were roses that were not able to withstand the winter. And of course, the roses had left an imprint of the image of the lady that Juan Diego had discovered, the Virgin Mary of Guadalupe. And that tunic is still on display today in the Basilica de Nuestra Señora de Guadalupe in Mexico City. And every year around the time of Christmas, beginning on the 1st of December and culminating on the 12th of December, there is a pilgrimage to the Basilica in Mexico City. the church on Tepeyac Hill, that Basilica de Nuestra Senora de Guadalupe, and also the church in Puerto Vallarta, same name, over on Calle Hidalgo, Ignacia de Nuestra Senora de Guadalupe. And there are throngs of visitors and pilgrims that make this pilgrimage to the church and celebrate this very special event in Mexico. So that is what this procession thing is all about. Of course, you can go and read more about it, but that's it in a nutshell, so to speak. The Vallarta Abuelos gift program has begun. Let me read from their Facebook page. The Vallarta Abuelos are kicking off our Christmas gift project for needy children. $25 will provide a low-income boy or girl with a bag of gifts from Santa. Please help us back the community that we love. Santa has 400 needy children on his list, mostly children being raised by single moms or grandmothers who sell tacos, clean hotel rooms, offer chairs on the beach, women who earn the minimum wage of 100 pesos, which is approximately $5 US every day. And here's how you can help. You can send a tax-deductible donation to a GoFundMe page, and I will have that link for the GoFundMe page in the show notes for this episode, or you can go to Facebook, go to the Abuelos Facebook page and donate through there as well. You can donate through PayPal to vallartaabuelos@outlook.com, or you, if you'd like to personally shop for a child and deliver directly to him or her a gift, then please send a message, and then they will link you up with a child or children or families on Santa's list. And that's a great way to give back and actually to meet this particular child. You can actually shop with them too. I don't know if you listened to the episode that I had with Anne-Marie Weiss Armouche a couple episodes ago. We talked all about how you can give. Anyway, I have all the information here. I've got an address that you can actually mail a tax-deductible check to as well, with a Garland, Texas address. So I've got all that in the show notes. And remember that the Vallarta Abuelos is a project. It's a 501c3. It's registered in the United States as a nonprofit. So thank you, Anne-Marie Weiss Armouche, for all that you do. And make sure that you give to the Abuelos program so that these kids can receive a gift from Santa or from you. Either one is fine with me. I received an email from listener Skip. Remember listener Skip from Minnesota. It reads, Barry, it's been a while since I last reached out to let you know what a great job you're doing. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Skip. I was particularly touched by your recent interview with Anne-Marie Weiss Armouche, representing the Vallarta Abuelos. Her organization is doing good things for the school children in Cinco de Diciembre neighborhood. And actually, I stopped listening to the podcast about halfway through. I logged into my PayPal account and I made a donation to the Vallarta Abuelos. So thank you for bringing these issues to my attention. I thought that children's bicycles on cobblestone streets of Puerto Vallarta were impractical, but evidently not. And what a noble effort she's making for those children there. I also messaged Gary Beck about Beck's Best Restaurant Guide. I asked him how often he updated his guide. I was concerned since area restaurants come and go with fierce competition. He messaged me back that he makes revisions almost daily. I logged back into my PayPal account, now easier since I had the password in mind, and I sent Gary $6 US, and he emailed me the document. I am extremely impressed by his knowledge about the restaurants throughout the Bay. As you know, I spend a lot of time in Bucerias. Gary's Best includes lots of my Bucerias favorites, plus a couple that I'll try in February. Gary does not review the restaurants. Gary provides information about pricing, menu selections, hours, location, and so forth, and the document is 229 pages on my computer. Gary has favorite restaurants in Puerto Vallarta, and he publishes his favorites in following categories. There's the top food dining, top gourmet cuisine, top Mexican fine cuisine, top Mexican traditional cuisine, top taco stands or street food, top beach dining, and top views or vistas. I believe that these lists represent the best dining in Puerto Vallarta and are well worth the $6 alone. Gary has done an amazing job on his restaurant guide, and I urge your listeners to buy it. And that's all from me for now. Thanks very much. Skip from Minnesota. So thank you, Skip. Thanks for making your donation to the Abuelos, and for listening, of course, and for doing all that great homework about Gary's restaurant guide. Now, we had Gary on way back when. He was one of my very first interviews, and his guide is really great. You just heard a great testimonial for that book, and I have a link to it, once again, in the show notes. And for $6, you can definitely use this guide. 220, what did he say? 229 pages. Wow. Okay. Now, again, and thank you, Skip. Thanks for all the great emails and the tips. Now, I don't know if you remember when I had Marco on the show from Reina's Bar, the Queen's Bar over on Lazaro Cardenas, across from the taco stands, right next to Guadalajara Market, right? Well, Christmas has arrived, and if you remember that interview that I had with him, he collects shoes, remember? Let me read from Marco's Facebook page. Sinterklaas shoe party is coming, Saturday, December the 21st. Please help me. Help Cheryl's shoebox. Bring some pairs of shoes, which I donate to them, and they will be donated to the children who need them. So thank you very much, and thank you again. So remember to bring a new pair of shoes, or bring some money to buy a pair of shoes. And, I'll wait to tell you a little bit about Sinterklaas. There's actually a controversy that they're having in the Netherlands about this scandalous Sinterklaas. Okay, it's a big deal to the Dutch, but not nearly as scandalous or a big a deal as it would be if you forget to bring a new pair of shoes over to the Queen's Bar, over to Reina's Bar. I have a link to all this information in the show notes, of course. Okay, I promised last week that I would tell you about my latest obsession. My latest obsession is Mexican candy. So here goes. I have one person to blame for my latest obsession. It was a clown. I didn't even like the clown, but, I was on a bus. I was going from Boca de Tomatlan back to Puerto Vallarta when, somewhere along the way, the driver pulls over and he picks up this clown. Now, I don't know if you've ever experienced a clown or any type of performer on a Mexican bus, but it can be pretty entertaining. It could be pretty good, or on the other hand, it could suck. It could be pretty bad. And the things that these performers do, they sing, they make up, rhymes, they play instruments, they do all kinds of things. So this clown, he gets on the bus and he starts passing out candy as he walks up the aisle to everybody on the bus. And these are little cellophane wrapped candies, right? Then he did his spiel, which was bad. It was really bad. He was doing some sort of comedy act in front of everybody, and it was all in Spanish. And of course, that's okay. Most of the people there were Spanish speakers, but he was having a good time, like making fun of the people who couldn't speak Spanish. I was not digging it. And his boombox that he had around his neck was making awful noise. And so he was not very entertaining. But what he did was he left me this candy. After he left, I looked down at it. I squeezed it to see if it was hard or soft, and it was medium. It did squeeze. But so anyway, I took it out of the wrapper and I smelled it first, and it didn't smell good or bad, and it didn't smell like much of anything. But what I did notice was a dusting of chili powder on it. I took a little nibble, and it was good. Wow, it had a little kick. It tasted like a strawberry, and it was called a pica fresca. Pica fresca. It's a round ball, and it was fruity and it was gummy. It was a little salty, but it was good with that hot chili powder on it. And there was some chili powder that was infused into the candy as well. And it was one of those things. I love gummy stuff, and it was just one of those things that just made me go, wow. So I spent the next couple days actually looking around for the candy. And finally I found it in the market. And while I was actually looking for it, I found other things too, things that totally blew me away. I found suckers that were coated with chili powder and salt. Even the sucker sticks had been soaked in the chili powder as well. Then there was all kinds of candy that was made from tamarind paste. And the tamarind was flavored with varying degrees of heat. It was, just kind of funny how they package the tamarind. Don't tell the sea turtles this, but they use straws. They use these plastic straws, and they'll wrap some of this tamarind paste around the straw, and then what they'll do is they roll that wrapped tamarind straw paste in some chili powder, and they call these things banderas. And then they have these spoons, these plastic spoons. They're called, I think they're cucharitos. A cuchara is a spoon, right? So cucharitos are these little spoons filled with this hardened tamarind paste, also spicy and all that stuff. Anyway, they have these candies, all kinds of candies. They got hard candies that are filled with sweet and sour centers as well, just like the ones that we have. These, the hard candies that we have in the West with the watermelon ones that have the soft watermelon jelly in the center. That when you chomp into it, they taste really good. Well, that's what they have, but they have a lot of mango and mango fillings and mango flavorings, lots and lots of it, lots of tamarind, lots of mango. And so I found all of that really very interesting. So then I turned my attention to the candy stores that actually sell the artisan-style candies that you see all around Puerto Vallarta. A lot of them, they're making up this kind of this peanut brittle kind of stuff. But if you look, they have these really interesting chili-covered fruits and stuff like that. And anyway, they're really good. Some of them are too salty. I mean, really, really salty. Some of them, the texture is just not to my taste. But anyway, when I was leaving the airport, when you're leaving the airport, you always have some pesos left. And I had some, and I spotted this bag of artesian chili-covered tamarind balls. Now, tamarind, I'd seen a lot of candy in my search for the clown candy. And a lot of this candy was made from tamarind. So, I'm sitting on the plane and I'm tasting this tamarind candy for the very first time. And I was hooked. I was hooked by these spicy, chili-coated tamarind balls. So, how do they make these things? So I went online, I Googled it, Google it, and I found that tamarind actually is a fruit. It grows in a pod. The pod is a crescent shape. It's brown. It's a little fuzzy feeling on the outside, and it measures about 4 or 5 inches long, and it has bumps where there are seeds in it. You can find them in Asian markets as well as in Mexican food stores. I see them all the time there, but I never really put two and two together to figure out what these were. So tamarind is a tree. It's native to Africa. It grows in many tropical climates. and it's used for cooking and flavoring and candy. And all over the world, not just in Mexico, but all over the world. But here in Mexico, they have gone crazy for tamarind. The trees get as high as 100 feet tall, and they can get very large, of course. It's sweet, it's sour, it's gummy, it has a very distinct taste. To me, it tastes like a mixture of, I'd say, pineapple and watermelon. If you mix those two flavors, it's kind of like that. Anyway, it was brought to Mexico by the Chinese in the mid-1600s, and tamarind trees grow very, very well, evidently, in Mexico. So I went a little further, and what I had figured I would do is I would make my own tamarind balls and see if I could duplicate the ones that I found in the airport. And I did. The shells, actually, of the tamarind the tamarind pods are really they're very, very easy to crack away. They crumble really easily in your hands. So the most difficult part of preparing the inside fruit is there's these stems, and the stems have these little stringy veins that are kind of attached to it, and they go along this tamarind pod. So you need to remove that, and then there's all these seeds. Now, the tamarind balls that I ate, some of them had one seed, some of them had no seed, some of them had two seeds. So they do make this tamarind by leaving the seeds in, but I didn't. I removed all the seeds because I just wanted to have the pure tamarind paste. Then what you do is you take these peeled and cleaned tamarinds, set them aside. You take a half a cup of water, a cup of sugar, 2 tablespoons of chili powder. Now they told me to use the really, really hot chili de arbol, which I did. You can use less hot if you like it, but I am all about the heat. Then they tell you to put in a tablespoon of this seasoning called tajin. It's a mixture of ground chilies, lime powder, salt, and it's sold in Mexican markets. You can find it at Walmart if you like. Anyway, you bring that all to a boil, and then you add the tamarind, all that in there, and then you cook it on low and stir it up, and it all breaks down into a paste. After about 15 minutes or so, you let that cool, and then you, in another bowl, you get some sugar, you get some chili powder, and you get some more of that tajin, and you mix that all together. And then you put on some of these plastic gloves that you use for cooking, and spray them with a little bit of PAM, a little bit of cooking spray. And then you roll the tamarind balls, which are very sticky. You roll them I rolled them about twice the size of a marble. And then I dropped them into the sugar and chili mixture, and then you rolled those in that, you coating it with this sweet and sour and spicy mixture. And then you set them aside, and you can put them in the refrigerator or set them out to harden up a bit. And I must say that they turned out actually better than the ones that I purchased at the airport. They were spicier, but like I said before, the recipe can be adjusted if you really want to do that. I took pictures when I was making these, so I also have a recipe for making these tamarind balls, these spicy tamarind balls, which are a dessert. Okay, they're candy, right? Anyway, I've got those in the show notes, so check that out as well. So you might wonder why hot, spicy foods in Mexico? I mean, then the reason is, evidently, it has to do with preserving of foods, because they say that foods that are out in the tropical heat tend to spoil faster, so they used spicier foods. Others say that hot foods cause you to sweat, therefore cooling you off while, heating you up at the same time, so to speak. But in reality, there now is refrigeration, right? And there now is, air conditioning. So really, it's a cultural thing. It's a cultural thing that's passed on. Mexicans, they like chili powder on everything, okay? Not just candy. I mean, we're looking at fruit. I mean, popcorn, ice cream, corn on the cob. I mean, you name it. They look at it and they say, let's try some chili on it. I mean, that's what they do. So why not candy, right? Now, there is another condiment. It's a treat called chamoy, and it is huge in Mexico. Chamoy, which is, as many things in Mexico, it's also most likely derived from Asia, from the Chinese and the Japanese influences. It's prepared by packing the fruit, like an apricot or a plum or a mango, in either salt or a brine. And then oftentimes the salt is mixed with vinegar or some sort of a citric acid, which naturally draws out the moisture through osmosis, leaving these little dried fruits. And they almost always have the seed inside. And these little fruits are known as saladitos, or little salty things. And they're often dusted with chili powder, just like I love. Those are the ones that I really, really love to munch. And according to the wiki pages, it says here, because of the differences in the type of fruit chosen in the composition of the brining solutions used, chamoy can vary widely in taste. Most are quite savory and spicy due to the addition of chili powder, and salty due to the brine. Depending on whether and how much vinegar was used, they may also vary from sour to sweet. This combination is unusual in the United States, where chamoy is often seen as an acquired taste. Now, chamoy comes as a sauce as well. Comes in these squeeze bottles. I've got one right here in front of me. This one here says spicy apricot dressing, chamoy. It's called hola. Líquido con más fruta, liquid with more fruit. And the stuff is like bright red. You see it everywhere in Puerto Vallarta. You've seen them snacking on it. They squirt it on their fruit. They squirt it on their chips, on their pork rinds, everything. Sorbets, even raspados. Raspados are Mexican snow cones. They're shaved ice, and the raspado maker will take some of that chamoya sauce and squirt it right on there and make this sweet and spicy and salty and cold treat. They're sometimes called chamoyadas. And the Mexican beer known as michelada, is often made with a squirt of chamoy. All right. Now, chamoy comes in a paste as well. It comes in jars for dipping and for adding to a dish that you happen to be cooking. But what I love are those dried chili-covered fruits. Look for the bottles of chamoy. They are everywhere. When you're on the Malecon, you'll see those food booths, where they've got those Doritos hanging there, and they've got bottles of chamoy, different flavors, varying degrees of heat. They're all around there. So if you were wondering what that was, that's what it is. Anyway, I've got all kinds of pictures in the show notes of Mexican candy and of my tamarind making adventure. They're all in the show notes. You can buy ready-prepared tamarind paste in Mexican food aisle or at the Asian food aisle in your local supermarket. So you really don't need to go out and spend an hour and a half making your pound and a half of paste yourself. Just saying. Although I can't imagine it tastes any better than the fresh stuff. If you care to try it, like I said, I got the recipe. Okay, that's about enough with the candy. Let's go to the interview, shall we? We spend a lot of time on the south side of Puerto Vallarta, downtown as well, and in the Cinco de Diciembre neighborhood, but we've yet to venture into the colonia just north of Cinco de Diciembre, and that is colonia of Versalles. Now, if you've been to the Costco in Puerto Vallarta, that Costco is in Versalles. It's adjacent to the resorts Las Tules, Plaza Pelicanos, Secrets Vallarta. Right across the street from there, across the 200 from those resorts, is Colonia Versalles. The streets have very European names, Calle Vienna, Calle Milan, Lisboa, Calle Roma, Venezia, Berlin, and so on. The neighborhood has a great feel, and there's an energy there that you really can feel. I mean, the new restaurants are popping up everywhere. There's hip spots with local vacationers and locals as well, and the streets are very walkable. Now, I came to Colonia Versalles to talk with Guillermo Wulff, Memo. Memo Wulff is one of the better-known chefs in Puerto Vallarta, and he opened his place, Barrio Bistro, in this very unusual location in Versalles, actually before the restaurant boom began over in Versalles. He took a chance, and he quickly became recognized by the foodies in this town and in this area as one of the best restaurants in Puerto Vallarta. Now, next door to his place is another restaurant and bar. They serve my favorite local spirit. They serve Raicilla, which is the local Moonshine here in Jalisco. And that place is called Lulu, Raicilleria, and it's a great space. Now, the restaurant, Barrio Bistro, has a lovely outdoor area for dining, as well as an intimate indoor dining area, too. All the walls are adorned with lovely artwork. It just grabs your attention and adds just so much to the texture and the substance of this restaurant. The Raicilla bar, La Lulu, is an indoor bar. It's beautifully laid out, great colors, wonderful artwork too. It's a great space to sit back and sample and imbibe Jalisco's finest moonshine. And when I arrived at the restaurant, it was early afternoon, and Chef Wulff was meeting with the staff over at a table near where I was setting up my recording equipment. And I got a pretty good idea of how serious they are about their food there. They were discussing the new menu. They discussed how the items would be prepared, what kinds of ingredients they would need, what they would be using, what needed to be shopped for, what they had. They were talking about the proper presentation, everything. It was a very intense meeting. And I was really happy to have had a chance to actually listen in on that. It gave me a really good insight as to how things are run over at Barrio Bistro. Then over at another table in the center of this outdoor dining area, Memo's social media guy was taking pictures. He was shooting photos of the newest dishes that they were going to post to the Facebook page for that week. So they were really busy, but luckily for me, they weren't too busy for us. So now the Wulff family is one of those names that is very famous in Puerto Vallarta. It's synonymous with giving back to the community. And we will hear maybe a little bit about that as well from Memo. Hey, let's go right now. Let's meet him. Let's go to Colonia Versalles, to Calle España 305, and let's meet the man himself, chef and owner Memo Wulff of Barrio Bistro and Raicilleria La Lulu, Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. Memo, thank you for joining me today on the program.
Thank you, Barry.
Now, you're from a very old Puerto Vallarta family. Tell us about your family.
Yeah. First, thank you for being here. Thank you for coming all this way to Vallarta. That Vallarta, I hope, has been treating you good.
Always does.
Vallarta, it's open the hands and open for everyone in the world. It's a beautiful place, and it's a long story, but I'm gonna try to make it short. And in Vallarta, my family. They are one of the beginners of the movement of you can name it, like in the movie, in the culinary, in the clothing, in the tourism. They were involved since the 1950s when they arrived from Mexico City and Nogales, and it was part of the destiny or that brought them here. And when Vallarta wasn't really, it was a fisherman's town. When they arrived, they were building around the Vallarta, like La Cruz, Bucerias, San Pancho. That's where my grandfather got in, building all the plazas, all the streets in the small towns around Vallarta. And then, when they came, they got in love with Puerto Vallarta. Of course, they came from the city, Mexico City, when that time it was changing a lot. And they arrived to this beautiful paradise, Mm-hmm. And like they said, my grandfather, when it arrived, he thought that it was like Hawaii. The weather, all the vegetation, like Hawaii. And Vallarta has all the weather, very close to the mountain. And when they arrive, they start with the movement. Why I said with the movement, for example, The Night of the Iguana, that is the movie that put Vallarta in the map of the whole world, or in the eyes of the whole world, when, Elizabeth Taylor, John Huston, the director, Richard Burton, Eva Gardner, everyone was here, and it's when Vallarta really, everyone start coming and writing and this and that, and it's been a lot of change since that, from a fisherman's town where it wasn't too big until now, and they've been, like I said, involved into the whole movement. Architectural, my grandfather was a builder. He built many. I think he's the one that built most than everyone in town so far. In the culinary, they were the first restaurants around, in the beach, in the boardwalk. Their restaurants last 30-something years, and the other one is still there. My family doesn't own the restaurant, but it's still there since the 1950s.
Yeah, which one was it?
El Dorado.
El Dorado.
El Dorado and La Palapa. That my family were involved into the La Palapa opening, and then they opened El Dorado. But it was 1 year of difference. But like I said, they've been involved in the clothing. My grandmother used to have a clothing company that they were even exporting to the States, to Europe. They were 100 of ladies doing clothing, and they opened even a store in Santa Monica, in those times.
Wow.
And where it was when in Vallarta there was no clothing, so you arrived from New York or from Los Angeles, and what you gonna wear here, like in New York clothes? No. So they were measure you, and next day they will have clothes for you. Okay,
wow.
so
yeah. And that was the day, right?
That was the day, and like I said, they've been in the restaurant, in the clothing, in the architectural, in the movie, and my grandfather already passed away a few years ago. My grandmother, she's 95. She's doing a book of Vallarta, all her memories, and she's still going to here, to there. She's still active.
She is very active.
Very active. And, now her sons, her daughters, and now her grandsons or granddaughters, us, we are continuing the project, that has been a life project that is not stopping, it's not, doesn't have an end. We're still doing what we need to do. Like me here in the restaurant, here in the events that I do. I'm a chef, and what I do, I think, is continuing the project that they started. And like you said, I'm from here. It's my hometown, so I have this job to continue and continue and continue with their job.
Right,
know?
And they're doing a great job, and so are you. Let's talk about your restaurant. Let's talk about Barrio Bistro.
Barrio Bistro, I've been in the restaurant business 30 years. I started working with my family, and I've been up and down. Up and down. I live in the States, in San Francisco. I live in New Orleans, but mostly all my life working here in town, in Vallarta, with my family or by myself, independent. So like I said, I've been up and down. Circumstances, life, Like I end up here in Colonia Versalles. It's not downtown. I was in downtown on the boardwalk, on the beach for many years, and now I'm on this area that Barrio Bistro has been open 4.5 years. And, we've been doing very, very good. It's an area that it's where when we opened, there was nothing around,
Yeah.
nothing. And now it changed, it changed a lot. And I like it, I think it's working what we've done. We started very, very, very small and really not thinking that it was going to be, it was going to grow like what happened,
Yeah.
It's all the neighborhood, the surrounding around Barrio Bistro has been changing. There's restaurants opening, stores, new neighborhood. I will say Barrio Bistro. We were a little bit different when we started from everyone around, everyone in town. We do local ingredients, and we change our menu. It's a changing menu, a spontaneous menu. We don't use recipes at all. We've been doing this 4.5 years, changing our menu every week and not using recipes.
Wow.
And using local ingredients that we grow and we collect. Okay, of course I buy more food around, but one of our goals, and it's been working, it's to produce, to collect, and to buy food from around the area. And like I said, why different from other restaurants is because in town everyone kept their menu forever.
Yeah.
Everyone was keeping their menu. Everyone was doing the same day after day. And now we're said, okay, why not changing every week, but trying to use local, depending what's available, depending what we brought from the farm. And that's how we did our menu. I go table by table, introducing the menu, explaining. It's been a very connection with the clients, with the people that comes here. We have that connection, and I think that's another thing that difference from other places. Here you're gonna find very nice contact, and you're gonna, like I said, connection with me, connection with the kitchen staff, connection with the people around, and it is, it's been working. People right now come and doesn't expect a menu. Depends. They know that they're going to come,
happen, huh?
and they don't know what's going to happen. They don't know what's on the menu, but at the end, they like it. At the end, they end up choosing things, and we do our job to make them very, very nice, very good looking, very tasty, and like I said, it's been working. A little bit different, but it worked. Here, La Lulu, we have a steady menu. The La Lulu has been open 1 year and a half, 1 year and a couple of months. It's a Raicilla bar. It's the only Raicilla bar in the world right now. And we specialize, of course, in the Raicilla. That is our local distillate. We do Raicilla tastings. They bring people from the chips, from the tourist department. I have Raicilla tasting going on. And what we do here is to promote the Raicilla. Raicilla, we just got the origin denomination. We are getting involved now with the whiskey.
Oh, really?
We are producing our
Getting
own
involved
whiskey.
with whiskey. Okay.
And, we like to play. In the future, we're going to do rum. But right now, only Raicilla. And like I said, the whiskey and local whiskey that our brand is Arre Corazon. Okay, and I hope you see it soon all over the world. But, here, that's what we do. We promote the region, the ingredients, sustainable, trying to give, of course, the people that lives from that more jobs. And, it's, of course, more natural, more, where the food comes from. And it's been working.
Yeah. Do you serve any food at La Lulu?
We have a steady menu at La Lulu. It's more like a snack menu, but we have beautiful dishes, and they go very good with your Raicilla cocktails And with the beer, we have many kinds of beer, and we have a menu different from Barrio Bistro,
Right.
that you can find from pizzas to calamaris to mussels to Kobe beef, American Kobe beef tacos. It's very convenient.
You can make it a dinner too. So you got two dinner places right next to each other. Is what you got going. You
Yeah.
are so smart. Look at you, man. What is you were saying that your home brand tequila is not tequila, but Raicilla is called
Arre corazón.
Arre Corazón.
Arre means like yeehaw.
Okay,
And corazón means the heart, so it means yeehaw heart.
You're right. Excitement of the heart, right?
Yes.
All right. What other kinds of Raicillas do you serve?
Like I said, we are the only Raicilla bar right now, so we have to have Raicilla from the mountain, Raicilla from the coast, and we have mostly all the Raicilla brands, like 32 different brands, and of course our brand that is Arre Corazón,
right.
And we promote all the brands, not only our brand. Like I said, if we don't do it, in a Raicilla bar, what we're open, no?
Right. What kind of a Raicilla bar are you?
We try to promote all the brands. We do beautiful cocktails. We have a very good Sergio, our bartender, our mixologist, and we work with other restaurants, other bars to promote the Raicilla events, partner cookings, partner bars. We try to promote and promote and promote.
Yeah.
And Raicilla, is becoming very popular now after mezcal. I think Raicilla is the one that it's gonna get. You're going to see Raicilla all over after mezcal.
Going to be a big boost for
We
Raicilla.
have the origin denomination now that, for us, it works very, very good. My Raicilla master, he's been involved, his family forever. Myself, I've been involved since I started drinking the Raicilla. Okay?
Yeah.
But I think it's the one coming, agave distill, after the mezcal.
Excellent. Wow. Okay, so these are you've got the great place here because you've got all the best kinds of spirits here. I'm a huge Raicilla fan, so I'm totally with you on that. We don't usually. I think this is my first trip in all of these podcasts that I've done. That I've come to Versalles. So tell us about the neighborhood. You don't serve breakfast and you don't serve lunch, so I can ask you about those things. I'm not going to ask you about dinner places.
Okay.
You got some
Versalles, you have from a Cajun restaurant, you got from a Greek restaurant, you got for lunch many options, ceviche places, La Mara. You got many new restaurants opening. You got for all the tastes. If you want natureza, more like paninis. If you want, there's an Asian place. I think not Vietnamese. You have Asian food. You have seafood. You got now a place for grill. You got here the Santa Jamona opening soon. You got La Orgullosa opening soon. You got a Jamaican restaurant open already. So you got the most varieties. For breakfast, they open a good restaurant, but it's closed now. But in the future, you're gonna see breakfast all over us. We want to experiment with breakfast next year.
Oh, good.
Also, bars. You have a few bars open already in the neighborhood. So you got from breakfast, lunch, you got plenty, and dinner, you got plenty options. Here, like I said, is opening and opening and opening and opening. If you want to go for breakfast, you will find places. If you want to go for lunch, you will have a lot of places. And dinner, you will have a lot of places.
You'll have
also.
Barrio Bistro.
Neighborhood is safe, okay, for walking.
Yeah.
Okay, driving. Right now, they're fixing all the streets around the neighborhood. A couple of streets, they're not good looking, but now they're fixing them. And you will find, like I said, safe to walk. A lot of places, if you want to stay, they're building a lot of apartments, places for rent, for a week, for a day, Airbnbs. You got the whole enchilada. You got if you want to stay for 1 month, there's places that you can lease, rent for that. And like I said, you want security. It's a safe neighborhood. Here, you just need to be careful with probably leaving your car open with your computer inside. You need to take care of that. But the rest, since I've been here, it's been not bad. It's for everyone.
Good, excellent. It seems like the area is a little bit residential, right? I mean, there's a lot of fewer businesses, or am I wrong? Are there places to buy?
It is the first residential neighborhood after downtown, so that's why you see a lot of houses, this, that, there. But now it's changing for a business area.
Got it.
Business, like I said, restaurants, and you're gonna see clinics like medical. And you're gonna see notaries. You're gonna see, you got plenty options for business. If you're looking for computer or this or that, you will find it in the neighborhood. And it's in these 2 months, I think they're opening 17 different places, new places. So it's changing.
Wow.
But the good thing is you got for everyone, options for everyone.
Yeah, okay. Excellent. All right, let's leave Barrio Bistro just for a minute. Let's go out into town and talk a little bit about what you might do if you were going to leave town for just a day and then come back. Where would you go?
To my ranch, 45 minutes from here. It's called El Tuito. I have a beautiful farm. I will spend the day there. Then from there I can go to Maito if I want to eat some fresh oysters. Or if not, if I don't go to my farm, I will go up to the mountain where San Sebastián is. Probably spend the day in San Sebastián, that it's a little town that has been around for more than 400 years. I will go and have a lunch up there in a Nebulosa restaurant. That's if I go to the mountain. If not, I will go probably San Pancho, that it's no more than an hour, 45 minutes from here, to San Pancho, that you have beautiful beach, beautiful town, nice restaurants. You can spend even the night if you go for the night. In San Sebastián also. It's you have a lot of places to go around. Vallarta, it's been, like I said, it's been growing. First Vallarta itself, and then it grow around, all the towns like La Cruz, like Bucerías, it's all connected, Now, Sayulita, San Pancho, Lo de Marcos, Guayabitos, they're now, like before you used to do like drive and 2 hours, now it's 1 hour driving, that is not too far.
Yeah.
So you got many choices. Even if you want to go, I don't know, to spend the day to Tepic, it's 2 hours from here, or San Blas. You have plenty options.
Excellent.
If you come for 1 week, probably you will end up going around some other place.
Yeah, some of those places.
Yeah.
That's why I ask. So what about 3 days? What if you had 3 days and you were going to go off somewhere?
Okay, you go to, again, to Punta Mita, that it's only now 35 minutes drive, and spend the day there, and the rest you will spend the day here in town, where you have plenty options. Or, like many they do, they come here, and then they go to Sayulita, and then they stay 3 days in Sayulita.
Yeah.
You have here is a good connection to go around.
Exactly. Do you have a word of advice for a first-time visitor to Puerto Vallarta?
Drink Raicilla carefully. Drink Raicilla carefully. Do it little by little, not the whole way. And if you come to Vallarta, look for the food. You have excellent restaurants now from all over. You can find some local good restaurants. You have a lot of activities, like adventure, like like low adventure, high adventure. You have options for all that, and you have plenty. Like I said, if you're a kid or teenager and grown up, you can have activities. You have activities for everyone. So get involved into that. Go and to the river, go to the ocean, go to many places that you have options. It's not only for old people or for young people. You have for activities for everyone.
Yes, you do.
Right.
All right. Any kind of word of warning, for somebody who was coming to Puerto Vallarta?
Mira, Vallarta is like any other place in the world. It's not a big city, but like every city in the whole world, you have to look for things that don't get involved in the back neighborhoods, for example. Stay in the tourist areas, or if you go for adventure, go to the right places. Probably a good company that you know that it's safe. If you're gonna go for adventures, make sure those installations are good. That they have a good insurance, probably. You never know.
Yeah.
But always, like myself, if I go to other places, I try to be careful, because I know that here in Vallarta or in any other part in the world, you just don't look for trouble. Look for the fun, look for the good things, because if you look for trouble, you will find trouble.
Yeah.
But if not, it's like any other city like in the world. In San Francisco, you will find the most beautiful things, and you will find the most horrible things. So just go like your instinct in the good places, stay in the tourist areas, and if you go someplace like far away, just make sure it's safe, make sure you got the right company, and it's like everywhere else in the world. But Vallarta is very safe. See, like I'm from here, of course I hear things, but it's very, very safe, and more with the tourists. Why? Because we want to keep people to continue coming.
Right.
And here the police, the guards is very, very, very on top of that.
Yeah, they're looking out for the tourist, because
always.
You are all important.
Always.
All important.
If you hear, Vallarta is one of the friendliest towns in Mexico. If you see the levels of criminality, Vallarta is one of the lowest around the tourist places to visit.
Do you have any hobbies?
Myself?
Yeah.
I have many hobbies. One of mine hobbies is to work with the agaves, the raicillas. I like to go to the beach. I like to go to the farm. I like to walk around in the mountain. I love to collect. I love many things. I like to swim. I have many things that I wish I have enough or more time to do.
Well, you're a busy man, so I guess you've got a lot of hobbies there, and it sounds like life to me is what it sounds like your hobbies are.
I love it. I love it.
Let's come back to Barrio Bistro. Tell everybody how they can find this restaurant.
Look in the internet. In the internet, you can find our webpage. You can find the Facebook. You can find the comments in TripAdvisor, in Yelp, in Instagram. You can look for Barrio Bistro. You can look for La Lulu, Raicilleria. It means a Raicilla bar. We have many not opinions or reviews. It's people. You can see what people said about us.
Yeah.
In the web. In the internet right now is where you can look for all of that. If you need location, Google Map. If you need in the web page, you will find there you can do reservations, or you will find our phone numbers there. It's my phone number that you can straight contact me or my wife, and it's the way you can find us, or ask for somebody in the street, and probably if they're from here, they will know about Barrio Bistro.
Yeah, you're a fixture here. When you sit back there and you are cooking, You hear people talking about your food. How does that feel to you?
I hope good comments. I hope good comments. In the restaurant you have everything. You have people that love your food, love your drinks, or you have people that don't like your food, don't like your drinks. I'm open for any comments. If I do 1 week with no bad comments, that's a good week. If I do a day with no bad comments, that's a good day. And I'm open for everyone. Of course, I look for good comments. I do my best to have all the time good comments. Like I said, I'm on top of everything. I'm on top of the tables. I'm on top of the kitchen. And for us in the restaurant, either if you're in the kitchen or in the tables, what you need or you would like to hear is good comments. Like I said, you're gonna find people that they don't like Barrio Bistro, but mostly if I do, let's say, a week, 600, 700 people a week, if one didn't like it, for me it's a winner week.
It's a successful week.
It's a successful week, and like I said, you're always gonna find, but mostly people like it. People, they're open to experiment, they're open to try new ingredients, they're open to have this experience. That, like I said, in many restaurants they don't have it, and mostly we heard good comments. Sometimes they don't tell us, but you can see it in their faces also. You know.
Yeah. You have vegan and vegetarian options for people, the troublemakers that come in here?
Yes, we have always a dish with a cost. That means that your dish or that dish that you're asked for is going to be on benefit for something. Right now we have the hurricane that we're helping, the hurricane benefit. So we're doing things for them. Every week we do that. Now we have a diabetes-friendly dish, and try every week to have a vegan or vegetarian, and we accommodate. Now we are starting to do the keto, or keto. I don't know how you say it in English. Keto. Keto diets. Yeah. That it's been something that came up. And we try to work with all those, because I know that us or many people, they need a special kind of food.
Yeah. So you are accommodating, aren't you? Look at you.
We're doing that in the events that we do as a association, like culinary associations or batels. We're trying always to have that information or to do a food with restrictions for people that cannot
have restricted diets.
And because we change, we can do that. We don't have a steady menu. So I myself, when I do my menus in the morning, let's do this vegan, let's do this vegetarian, diabetes friendly, and it works. Because like you said, in everyone, where have those restrictions.
Yeah.
Some people.
Yeah, that's very good. Well, I'm going to make sure that we have pictures of Barrio Bistro, and it'll be in the show notes, as you know. And I'll also make sure that you have the directions, and we'll link up their Facebook and their Instagram page as well. And you'll just go and find that at www.puertovallartatravelshow.com. Just look up Barrio Bistro, the Barrio Bistro episode, or you can just go to barriobistro.com, of course. And you'll find it all there as well. And Memo, I got to tell you, I really enjoyed talking with you today, and I hope you'll allow me to take some pictures of your place so that I can get those out for my people to look at too. And thanks for letting me introduce you and Barrio Bistro and La Lulu to my listeners. I truly appreciate that.
No, thank you very much, Barry. I hope this goes to many, many, many listeners, and hope to see you down here when you come Barrio Bistro La Lulu. Just said, we heard this in the Puerto Vallarta travel show with Barry, and we'll have something special for you. And you can find us in the web. Like I said, you will find my phone, so we can talk. You can make reservations with me, and I will wait for you here in Barrio Bistro or La Lulu, and hope to treat you and hope to make you feel like home.
Well, very good. Memo, thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Barry.
Wow. I really, really liked Memo, didn't you? Now, he is a really hands-on guy. He comes right to your table, not only to talk about the menu items, but he even sometimes prepares the food right there, tableside. And he just has a passion for cuisine that is remarkable. Now, for unique, one-of-a-kind dishes, this guy is a real magician. And, you need to go see him. You need to witness and taste that magic yourself. It is an experience that you'll remember and that you'll savor and you'll thank me for. And, of course, make that plan so that next time you come to Puerto Vallarta, come to Versalles and try another totally new menu every time you go and experience it. Now, I spent some time after the interview. I wandered around the neighborhood. I really, really liked it. It's safe. It's clean. It was very, very interesting to me. I would go there again in a minute. So if you haven't been to Versalles, if you haven't walked around there and checked out that wonderful restaurant, Barrio Bistro, do it for sure. I have links in the website. I've got their Facebook page. I've got a map. I'll take you right to the front door of Barrio Bistro and Raicilleria Bar La Lulu. It's in the show notes. So, you know where to find them, www.puertovallartatravelshow.com. All right, well, that should do it for this week. Next week, stay tuned for more on-the-ground reports from Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, with travel tips, great restaurant and excursion ideas, and more. But until then, remember that this is an interactive show where I depend on your questions and your suggestions about all things Puerto Vallarta. If you think of something that I should be talking about, well, please reach out to me by clicking on the Contact Us tab and sending us your message. And remember, if you're considering booking any type of tour while you're in Puerto Vallarta, you must go to vallartainfo.com. That's JR's website, and reserve your tour through him right from his website. Remember, this is a value-for-value proposition, my friends. His experience and on-the-ground knowledge of everything Puerto Vallarta in exchange for your making a purchase of a tour that you would do anyway. You're just doing it through him as a way of saying thank you. Thanks, JR, for being our guide. It costs no more than if you were going to use someone else. So do it, really. And when you do take one of those tours, email me about your experiences. Maybe you can come on board and share with others what you liked or didn't like about the tour. Again, contact me by clicking on the Contact Us tab and sending off a message. And don't forget, JR has his maps, his DIY tours, his revitalized happy hour board, and more, and I have links to all of those in the show notes, of course. And then, once again, if you like this podcast, please take the time and subscribe and give me a good review on iTunes, if you would. That way we can get the word out to more and more people about the magic of this place, Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. And remember, I made it easy for you to do just that with each episode I create. But if you haven't been to my website, you really need to have a look there. I have links to the places that we talk about, interesting pictures, and more, right there in the blog posts and in the show notes for each episode of the show. So check them out for sure, all right? Okay. Thank you so much, Memo Wulff from Barrio Bistro and La Lulu in Colonia Versalles. Make sure that you add Barrio Bistro to your list of restaurants the next time you come to Paradise. And if you want to taste some of the greatest moonshine, Raicilla in all of Puerto Vallarta, then make sure you go to La Lulu for sure. Don't forget to mention that you heard about him on the podcast, and hey, see what Memo has for you. His dishes are to die for, and his Raicilla to hallucinate for. And what a great excuse to go and explore Colonia Versalles, right? So thanks to all of you for listening all the way through this episode of the Puerto Vallarta Travel Show. This is Barry Kessler signing off with a wish for you to slow down, be kind, and live the Vallarta lifestyle. Nos vemos, amigos.
De Puerto Vallarta, noche de arrullo en el mar, samba de Puerto Vallarta, noche de amor junto al mar. Solo camino interno por la playa, encuentro junto al río cuando todo está en calma. Pronto cae la noche, me brillas Puerto Vallarta, samba de Puerto Vallarta, noche de arrullo en el mar, samba de Puerto Vallarta.